Hello, today we're going to talk about a Carcano rifle that's been made up to look exactly like the rifle that Oswald allegedly used to shoot Kennedy in 1963 in Texas. This is a M38 Carcano 6.5mm rifle that I bought off a guy in Pennsylvania. It's got mounted to it a Ordnance Optics Incorporated 4x18 scope. This is the exact one that Oswald had as well, same mount, same screws. Basically the entire rifle is as Oswald would have used his, except maybe without the sling, which I don't believe was a true rifle sling. It was like an M7 or M9 shoulder holster, jury rigged. It's a standard Mauser-like action with two locking bolts in here and a safety backup, I suppose, with the handle against the rear of the split receiver here. It's got a non-graduated sight that's set for 200 meters, and it's got a portion of exposed barrel up here, and what might be birch or walnut, European walnut stock. It fired 6 rounds of 6.5, 160 grain, 6.5 times 52. This particular round right here. It was fed via this charger clip. The whole clip would actually descend into the magazine, and as you cycled it out, a follower would push the new round up into place, and then eventually when all 6 were dispensed with, the clip would fall out this hole at the bottom, right here. So, story about this rifle is in 1963, Oswald, under the alleged fake name of A. Hidell, ordered it from Klein's Sporting Goods in Chicago. It was an ad that was featured in American Rifleman that some say piqued his interest. It was the cheapest scoped rifle that they had there. It was retailing for $19.95, about $230 in today's money. It was on in the February 1963 American Rifleman magazine, I believe, which is a publication that the NRA puts out now, if you're a paid up member with them. It was a bunch of things that tied the rifle to Oswald. First off, here at the buttstock, in the area between the metal and the wood, there was fibers found that were the same weave, same dye, same material as Oswald's shirt that day. There was up here underneath the handguard, when this part here is removed, you'd have to take this screw out here, pull off the barrel band to remove the handguard. There was a print of Oswald's hand on it, so he had most likely taken it apart to clean it or whatever, and that was that. Now, some people say that the shot he took on Kennedy wasn't the first time he'd used this particular rifle in anger. On April 10th, 1963, he took a shot at a ex-US Army general called Edwin Walker in Dallas, and he came home and told his wife, Maria at the time, I'm just after trying to shoot this guy, but the bullet didn't go through. April 13th, friends of the family, the Morenchilds, or something like that, I believe they're called, I have terrible trouble trying to pronounce those names, came around and they saw a rifle that looked exactly like this, and they made the comment, did you use that to shoot Mr. Walker, and kind of in a jokey way, but so there is some providence of it being seen in Oswald's possession. Of course, there's the famous backyard pictures and stuff like that as well, but I'm not going to go into it whether the whole thing was a conspiracy or whatever. But the rifle itself is a very short carbine length, easily hidden under a long coat or whatever. Some people say that he arrived in the Texas school depository with a package of curtain rods, is what he claimed it was, in a brown paper bag, and people say it could have been this. So anyway, let's go into the actual mechanics of the rifle. It's as I said, a bolt action Mauser style, so you cock it there as you open it, and you're pulling it back like that. Let's pull out the bolt and have a quick look at it. The bolt is a 2-lug bolt, here and here. So as it rides in the chaseway down here into the receiver ring at the front, when you lock it down like this, these bolts will come into a position here and here, and they'll get locked in place, so the pressure of the round firing will force it back like this, but it'll bear against 2 surfaces inside this part right here. The rifle I put together using the original parts that Klein's would have had. The screws I found that actually came into the action right in here, the screws that I had to drill through, I had to drill and tap holes here in the receiver. They came in ever so slightly, and I found that it interrupted the travel of the bolt. This the lug back in here would hit against them and be hard, and you had to be very forceful with how you actually cycled it. It took some grinding down with Dremel to actually get them flush with the receiver so that it would actually travel in nice and good. I don't know if that was the case with Oswald's rifle, whether they used the same depth of screws or length of screws, or whether they were filed down after the fact, if any of them came in. But it was a hard rifle to cycle. It still is pretty tough. It's not as slick as a Mauser or an Enfield or anything like that. The scope itself is really junky. It's a 22 scope. You'd maybe put it on an air rifle at the most. The mount is really thin hot metal, easily bent. So the FBI, when they ran their tests, said that the particular mount was off, and the scope was off as a result, and they couldn't actually get it printed on paper when they did their test firing. Now, Oswald allegedly dropped the rifle after he took his shots and ran down the stairs. There was a scrape found on the scope, which was indicative of a drop, and they wonder if maybe that was actually what was the reason why the scope was so off when they tried to do their test firing. Either way, it was a pretty easy shot. I think one shot was at 55 yards, the other was at 77 yards, which with even open sights, even a crappy notch sight and a front blade sight like this would be very doable for the average sportsman. People with limited experience with a rifle could pull it off. This particular rifle was used by Jesse Ventura for his new conspiracy theory show. They wanted to see if they could get the same 3 shots off that Oswald got off in 8.1 seconds. I won't go into what he did and spoil exactly what they have coming up. But Jesse was very cagey about this particular rifle and thought it was a real junky piece of crap. And he came to respect it a bit more, I think, towards the end of the filming. Now, let's talk about the actual way that this would have been fed. These are dummy rounds that I made up. These are not live rounds. Let me just double check. Yes, they're dummy rounds, no primers. You would pop the whole clip like this directly in, push it down, and it locks in place. You would then cycle down like this, pull the trigger, and it ejects like that. So people ask me, you know, could you do the actual shot, the fatal headshot and the throat shot with this particular rifle? Yeah, I think you could. It'll print at about 3 inches at 100 yards. It's not a bad rifle. It's got a pretty good bore on it, good tight fit with the bullet inside of it. The problem is the scope is so small and it's so hard to reacquire your target. As you take your shot, we're completely empty. You shoulder it like this. You get yourself. You have to get the eye relief, of course, right on the scope, and that's very picky. Then you get your target, you pull your trigger, and it's such a hard action, you can't just nicely lift it like this. You're fighting all the way. You've lost your sight picture. The whole thing's gone. You pull this back, you cycle again. You're trying to get back onto target, you have to get your eye relief back and stuff. Some people think that after he took the shot on the Army General Walker, that he decided he wouldn't trust the scope and would use the actual sight. Now, this is pretty much easy to line up with the front. You have a much better sight picture, and the fatal headshot was at 77 yards or meters, and it would be very easy to accomplish that. It would probably be much easier to do all 3 shots that he took in 8.3 seconds thereabouts using the open sights. You could do it with this scope, but it wouldn't be my first choice at all. It's not really a high quality piece of glass, and it's hazy, it's crappy. Like I said, it's for a 22 or an air rifle. So anyway, that's my rifle here. Hope you liked my video.